South Florida. This is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Hi there and welcome to Headliners. I'm Lauren Pastrana. Hundreds of people observed Workers' Memorial Week. It's dedicated to outdoor workers injured on the job because of poor working conditions. A national organization says one of the worst offenders is a plant nursery in Homestead. Now, a local group is shining a spotlight on unsafe practices and asking for change. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor reports.
We reach out to this nursery in Homestead for reaction because according to the National Council for Occupational Safety and Health, they have failed to protect its workers. But first, we're going to start with workers in Homestead asking for justice. Carrying crosses, flowers, and signs of justice, dozens of nursery workers marched through the streets of Homestead this week. This is a city where many of them live and work. We're asking for justice and respect for workers, said Pedro Raimundo. He says he works at a nursery, but he is not an employee at Alpha Foliage in Homestead. This company was listed by the National Council for Occupational Safety and Health as one of the dirty dozens, the only one in Florida of 12 companies nationwide. The report says nursery workers in Florida face intense heat, back-breaking labor, pesticide exposure, and a lack of basic protections like rest breaks and water. OSHA issued citations in 2025 for multiple safety violations.
People have a moral right to water, to shade, to rest, to be able to go to work and return home alive to their loved ones.
Oscar Londoño is the director of We Count, an organization for outdoor workers in South Florida. They organized a mass at the Sacred Heart Catholic Church on Sunday and then this procession. Dozens participated. Raimundo was one of them. At my job, human rights are violated. We beg to get breaks. We fear this is going to get worse.
We understand that every single year it will get hotter and hotter.
Last year, We Count managed to get an ordinance approved in Miami-Dade. It was then rebuffed by the Florida legislature, which also banned counties from setting their own rules.
We're concerned for the plant nursery workers, the agricultural workers, the people in our community whose lives are at risk.
We must reiterate that we have actually contacted Alpha Foliage since Monday with phone calls and emails seeking to get a reaction. We still have not heard from them. And we are in Homestead. Yvonne Taylor, CBS News, Miami.
The Justice Department dropped the axe on nonprofits last week, cutting money for inner-city programs that focus on preventing gun violence and saving lives. The Urban League of Broward County and the Circle of Brotherhood in Miami are among those affected. CBS News Miami's Joan Murray joins us from Liberty City, where she's been talking to people who are facing these devastating cuts.
School's out at Brownsville Middle in Miami.
You pretty much wind up seeing everything else that sometimes the teachers don't catch wind of.
All around, you spot the peacemakers.
How you doing? How was school?
They are a neighborhood patrol, boots on the ground, stopping crime, gun violence, and offering alternatives.
When we go out into the community and we see these young people that's maybe into crime or causing havoc or just having a troubled life, I see myself. I was them, as a young man. Growing up, I was a part of the problem.
The peacemakers are a cornerstone of the larger nonprofit Circle of Brotherhood. Lyle Muhammad is executive director.
It's a community-based touch. It's love, it's relationship, it's need-based.
But that outreach is in jeopardy after the Circle got this email from the Justice Department that their $2 million federal grant awarded in 2023 was terminated because it no longer effectuates the program goals or agency priorities. Instead, they said they'd focus on law enforcement, protecting children and victims of trafficking and sexual assault. Lai Muhammad soon won't be able to pay his 50 employees.
See, when we talk about saving lives, yes, there's individuals who actually stop gunplay from taking place, but there's also individuals who've raised youth self-esteem who are thinking about taking their own life.
Julius Robinson wants to keep saving lives. He grew up in Liberty City and is working with the Circle to be the next generation of community problem solvers.
Black men solving our own problems, and that's a really good thing for us.
And the Circle tells me next week they plan to hold a huge rally to try to find alternative funding. The Broward County Urban League stands to lose a $400,000 grant that was earmarked to prevent youth hate crimes. We reached out to them for comment but have not heard back. In Miami, Joan Murray, CBS News, Miami.
Some South Florida Social Security recipients are starting to feel the impact of staffing cuts at the agency. This could mean longer wait times while trying to get a hold of someone, and that could be just the beginning. One South Florida woman shares what she's already gone through with CBS News Miami's Steve Magiri.
Pamela Bergio says she qualifies for Social Security benefits in June, but she wants to set everything up ahead of time.
I'm very confused about the process, and I'm trying to reach out to Social Security to get some answers.
But she says those answers haven't been easy to get. She says when she tries to call on the phone, wait times can be 3 hours long.
In the meantime, I'm still checking the website where I spent hours looking for the information, and I can't find all the information. And then trying to make an appointment, you can't reach anybody to make an appointment.
Hands off! Hands off! Hands off! Hands off!
Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz says that backlog may be the result of the Trump administration's plans to cut 7,000 jobs from the Social Security Administration. We reached out to the Social Security Administration asking what they can do about these backlogs, but did not get a response. CBS News reported the agency offered all SSA employees buyouts in February. Yannick LaRose says she took one of them, since she was worried she'd be forced out if she didn't.
I think the best for me was to, since I've got the age and I have the years, and I just did it.
The Congresswoman says LaRose is one of 8 employees that have already left this SSA office in Plantation. The South Florida Democrat says the only way to stop these staffing cuts is through legislation. She says Social Security was already understaffed before these cuts.
You have to have a technological backbone that can sustain the number of calls that come in so that there's timely response.
LaRose tells me if these eliminated positions were suddenly filled again, she says it could take years before any new hires would be fully trained. Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz tells me that in order for a measure stopping these cuts to pass the House, she would need 3 Republicans to vote along with every Democrat in support of the measure. In Plantation, Steve Magiri, CBS News, Miami.
When we come back, Art Deco no more? See the controversial new proposal that has many divided. That's next.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Lauren Pastrana. We have more information coming in after news earlier this week about a case of tuberculosis at Dillard High School in Fort Lauderdale. The superintendent of Broward Schools provided an update. CBS News Miami's Peter Dench spoke with Howard Hepburn on how the district is taking action.
It appears concerns about tuberculosis impacted school attendance today here at Dillard High School. About 25% of the students were absent, which is much higher than normal. Tuberculosis mainly affects your lungs and can be spread when an infected person coughs or sneezes. Symptoms can include a cough, weight loss, night sweats, and fever. Superintendent Howard Hepburn says one student at Dillard High School has tuberculosis, and they are working with the Broward and Florida health departments.
So they did contact tracing, and they have identified a certain number of kids that they are thinking have been exposed, and they're going to test those kids based on parental consent to see if they're actually confirmed cases also.
You're exposed if you are in close proximity of a person that has tuberculosis for a prolonged period of time. It is contagious. A lot of people are infected initially and does not show any symptoms.
The tuberculosis case took its toll on school attendance. Dillard High School has 1,900 students. 475 of them were absent on Wednesday. Fewer than 200 are normally absent on an average day. It's a concern because students are now taking school tests.
This is testing season, so I think it would be important for us to tell the public that it's safe to come to school. It's very important that students are in school for a lot of reasons, but especially since we are in the beginning of testing season.
Hepburn did not say what gender or grade the infected student was in, but he did say the youngster was okay. In Fort Lauderdale, Peter Dench, CBS News, Miami.
Potential danger on the horizon for Miami Beach's historic Art Deco district. The Miami Beach City Commission is speaking out against the Florida legislature for a bill that would expand on the Live Local Act and allow developers to build affordable housing. Officials say the bill could put the historic architecture at risk. CBS News Miami's Nakaya Carrero breaks down the issue from Miami Beach.
Senate Bill 1730 passed with only 3 lawmakers voting against it. While the bill promises to bring affordable housing around the state, Miami Beach city leaders say the Art Deco history is now in danger of being left in the past.
I think we all know in our communities we have an affordable housing crisis. It continues.
Florida State Representative Vicki Lopez, who primarily represents Miami, spoke to the state Senate ahead of the vote on Senate Bill 1730. In the bill, counties must authorize housing in areas zoned for commercial, industrial, or mixed use. Miami Beach city leaders say that puts a target on 100 years of Art Deco history.
It's about the heart and the soul of Miami Beach. It's about preserving the neighborhoods, the character, the stories of our residents that have made Miami Beach a global icon.
The bill would essentially create way for housing in places there were previously restrictions. In the bill, counties may not restrict the density of proposed developments. Counties will also not be allowed to create restrictions on height of buildings. But City of Miami Beach leaders say this bill puts around 2,600 historic buildings throughout the city at risk.
This bulldozing gentrification bill would give developers the power to tear down our 2- and 3-story apartment buildings, Art Deco and MIMO buildings.
Mitch Novak, who owns a hotel in the Art Deco district, says he's nervous for the city's infrastructure and tourism.
My clients for decades have come here, for the beauty of the architecture, the sky, the ocean, the trees, and they don't come here to be in 50-story towels.
Florida Representative Vicki Lopez called this the most important piece of legislation this session. We reached out to Lopez as well as Miami Beach's Representative Fabian Basabe and Florida State Senator Alexis Coluto for comment and have yet to hear back. In Miami Beach, Nakaya Carrero, CBS News, Miami.
When we come back, see how one combat veteran is giving back to the community he helped protect. Next.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Lauren Pastrana. A big weekend shaping up in South Florida as the 4th annual Miami Grand Prix is back in Miami Gardens. But before they make their way to the track, a special group had the opportunity to find out what it takes to work for a team on race day. CBS News Miami's Samantha Rivera joins us from Hard Rock Stadium with a closer look.
Page button, you've got all your different screens, like I say, like a little video game screen. You can press which page you want to see.
Students from local elementary, middle school, and high schools were able to meet F1 Academy drivers and engineers, learning about their day-to-day responsibilities, taking a stroll through pit lane. They also got to build their own custom Lego cars, enjoying an unforgettable experience.
I love cars. My dad worked at a dealership, so I hang around a lot of cars, different cars, but I've never seen a race car, so it's my first time.
So having them here, it brings the programming to the real world. And we get to talk about, obviously, our Formula One, Crypto.com, Miami Grand Prix, and they see the cars up close, meet the drivers. It's a special day for them to have it behind the scenes that most fans do not get.
We also saw some Dolphins players lending a helping hand literally to some drivers. Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, and Quentin Bell amongst the group competing in their field goal challenge. Guys like Charles Leclerc and Liam Lawson. Let's just say it got competitive.
He was down. He's better than me. I'm like, wow. Like, they kind of, they act like they can't kick, and so I'm like, you're an athlete, at the end of the day. So you can do a little bit of everything. So it's really cool to see them do it. Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what you're doing when you're in a competition. You're locked in, and I was so locked in, I don't even remember doing it now, to be honest. I don't even remember the experience.
And you beat out Charles.
His face was like,
Dog.
so determined, like crazy.
Can you give the other guys lessons on how to do better?
No, well, I don't want to beat our scores. No, we're going to teach
we're good. I think
we are 1-2 right now as a team. We're going to keep it that way.
Definitely win the constructors.
Constructors and field goal challenges. Yeah. Solid. I think we've got it, to be honest.
And that was CBS News Miami Samantha Rivera reporting. In this week's Miami Proud, we shine the spotlight on a combat veteran who, after returning home from intense war fighting, is using his experience to help others. CBS News Miami's Naja Sherman introduces us to a local hero making a difference.
Following his deployment to Afghanistan as a U.S. Marine Corps scout sniper, Miami Beach VFW Post 3559 Senior Vice Commander Alex DeBrota says he struggled adjusting back to civilian life. So he set out to find ways to reclaim his joy and sense of purpose. He went back to school and started a company, creating an app called Badger, Operation Gamify.
My solution is through a social app where you can connect with other people through competition so that you can have those three pillars: joy, social connection, and purpose.
The app creates mission-oriented challenges as a way to connect with others. DeBrota explained how it works.
You'll find a mission. Hey, this looks like a fun one. Let me do that. And then that becomes an experience. Then when you join that mission, you get to see all the other videos of everybody else that completed that mission, so you can connect with those people.
The missions on the app are community service based with a focus on helping others. He has also organized numerous community service events and outreach programs. Lieutenant Matthew Ross with the U.S. Coast Guard Station Miami Beach says they've worked together for years. He says DeBrota understands what it means to serve his community and country.
Some recent events we've worked with Alex on are the Toys for Tot delivery of Santa Claus. So we brought Santa Claus to the VFW post and helped distribute over 1,500 toys for children in need in the Miami area.
DeBrota is a husband and father of 2 young boys. Those who know him say he has found a way to connect and heal not only himself, but help countless others. Naja Sherman, CBS News Miami.
Thanks for joining us this half hour on Headliners. As always, keep it right here to CBS News Miami for up-to-the-minute breaking news and weather 24 hours a day. Make it a great one.